Today I am driving the new Kia Seltos, the second generation. This car has been in limelight for quite some time now. It has got everything an Indian consumer demands: features, space, a panoramic sunroof, and serious road presence. Kia has got almost everything right with the new Seltos, and today I am going to tell you how. Starting with the exterior, Kia has completely redesigned the new Seltos from the outside. It looks very polarizing, and personally, I like the way the new Seltos looks. From the side, it looks long as the new Seltos has grown in size and is now the longest car in the segment. However, the wheelbase isn't as long as the new Tata Sierra. Up front, you get a new signature LED projector headlamps with a distinctive design element. This particular black unit with gloss black cladding gives it a mean look overall. There are 6 parking sensors and a front parking camera, which really helps the parking a car this long. I also like the alloy design, and this greenish brake calipers adds a sporty touch indeed. The boot, because the boot carrying capacity stands at around 447 liters, which is decent for the segment, and weekend trip shouldn't be an issue with the new Seltos. And if I talk about the interior space, this is where the new Seltos gets a major update. There's a good amount of legroom and decent headroom too, despite the panoramic sunroof. The cabin is wide enough that 3 people can comfortably sit at the rear. Up front, the cabin looks great. The highlight is the triple screen layout. The infotainment display and the driver's display both measure at 12.3 inches, while the center screen is dedicated to climate control, though physical buttons are there in the center console to manually adjust the climate and temperature. The infotainment now gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which means that was missing in the previous top spec variants, and the ambient lighting runs across the dashboard and door pads. Overall, it's an ergonomically sorted cabin with a genuinely nice ambience. Now, let's talk about the features because the new Seltos has always been a feature loaded car, and this new one is loaded to the brim. First up is the 360-degree parking camera, which I think is the best in the business. Hyundai Kia have nailed the camera system, and this one works smoothly and left free. With a bird's eye view that's handy in tight parking spots, plus multiple view modes for parking close to a curb. It uses a Bose 8 speaker system with 5 speakers, 2 tweeters, 1 subwoofer which is powered by an amplifier. So, music quality is genuinely good, though it is not the best system out there. It also gets level 2 ADAS, which is well calibrated for our Indian driving conditions. Along with that, it also gets an 8-way electrically adjustable driver seat with memory function. Save your profile once and it will adjust to your driving position at touch of a button next time. Seat ventilation is properly chilling and it cools your back in no time at all. And it also gets a dual zone climate control which also works flawlessly well. Now, let's talk about the driving part because this is where I really want to spend some time today. The new Seltos is very easy to live with when it comes to driving, and yes, its size might catch you out on the extremely tight roads or narrow lanes in the older parts of the city. But for most of day-to-day driving, it's really not going to be an issue. The Seltos comes with 3 engine options and 5 gearbox options, so there's genuinely a Seltos for almost everyone. The first one is the 1.5 naturally aspirated engine with 113 horsepower and 144 Newton meters of torque, which you can have with either a 6-speed manual or a CVT. Then we have a 1.5 liter turbo petrol, which is paired with either a 7-speed DCT or an IMT, which produces around 158 horsepower and 253 Newton meters of torque. Then we have a turbo diesel 1.5 liter, which produces 114 horsepower and 250 Newton meters, which you can have it with either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. So that's 5 engine gearbox combinations, which honestly is more choice than most of the rivals in this segment. The one I am driving right now is the 1.5 NS CVT, and this powertrain combinations, this is the powertrain combination that sells the most in urban areas because it's a low maintenance unit and it's easiest to drive in traffic. The 1.5 CVT paired with that NA engine makes the whole drive smooth and refined. The lower end response is surprisingly good for a naturally aspirated engine. So pulling away from a standstill doesn't have that lackluster, laggy feeling you'd sometimes expect from an NA CVT combo. Now, if you are mostly going to be driving this engine on the highway or doing long weekend trips or frequent intercity runs, this is not the drivetrain I would recommend. You are better off with either the diesel or a turbo petrol. But since the city traffic is what most owners are going to be dealing with most of the time, the 1.5 NA with the CVT is genuinely no brainer for that use case. Let's talk about the CVT behavior specifically, because Kia has tuned this gearbox well and it doesn't have that rubbery elastic feel that older CVTs used to have. There are also stimulated steps programmed into the gearbox. So, under hard acceleration, it doesn't just drone away at 1 RPM, it mimics gear shifts, which makes the experience feel a lot more natural, especially for someone coming from a torque converter automatic or a manual. Now, let's talk about the manual gearbox, because Kia still offers one on the naturally aspirated engine. The clutch is light, the throw is short, and it's an easy car to drive in bumper to bumper traffic even with 3 pedals. So, if you are someone who still enjoys changing your own gears but doesn't want the harshness of performance focused manual, this is a comfortable setup. Moving to the turbo petrol, I've driven this one as well, and it is genuinely a gem of an engine. Kia's 1.5 turbo makes considerable more power and torque, and the difference is immediately noticeable the moment you get onto the throttle. There is no rubber band effect here, power delivery is linear, and overtaking on highway becomes effortless. Paired with the 7-speed DCT, gear shifts are quick and crisp, especially once you are in sport mode. The IMT option is also there for enthusiasts who want to save a bit and still enjoy some manual involvement, minus the clutch pedal. The diesel is the one built specifically for highway cruising, because with 250 Nm meters of torque on tap, it comfortably maintains cruising speeds even with a full load of passengers and luggage. Diesel clatter is well controlled at idle, and once you are up to the speed, cabin insulation does a good job of keeping engine noises out. If you are someone who does frequent highway runs, say weekend getaways or long commutes between cities, the diesel automatic is probably the sweet spot in the lineup. Coming to ride and handling, Kia has clearly worked on the suspension setup with this generation. The previous generation Seltos used to have quite firm setup, which some people loved it for its planted feel, but a lot of buyers found it too stiff for daily city use. The new Seltos has gone with a noticeably softer setup, meaning you don't feel city bumps and broken roads as often, and it's quite more forgiving over the speed breakers. The downside of this softer suspension is handling. Don't expect this to corner like a European hot hatch, but there's a noticeable body roll as well, and it leans a bit when you are pushing it hard around the corners. Steering feel and feedback is also on the lighter side, which is great for city maneuvering and U-turns, but it doesn't give you a ton of confidence when you're really pushing on highway or a ghat section. If outright handling and steering feel are high on your priority list, then there are more driver focused options in this segment you should look at instead. With that being said, the new Seltos makes an excellent primary family car. The combination of space, an attractive and feature-loaded interior, low running cost on the NA variants, and Kia's genuinely good after-sales service network makes it a very sensible choice for most Indian buyers. This car is also built on the new K3 platform, which is shared with the Alcazar, the Syros, Carens, i20 and Verna. So a lot of platform learnings and refinements from those cars have trickled down into this new Seltos as well. On fuel economy, you can expect this car to return around 11 to 12 kmpl in city driving and around 16 to 18 km per liter out on the highway, depending on your driving style and traffic condition. In terms of outright performance, 0 to 100 takes somewhere around 13.4 seconds on this NA-CVT combination. Not quick by any means, however, but it will comfortably get the job done for you for regular use. Get hard onto the throttle and you will feel the classic rubber band effect, where engine RPMs climb quite high before the car actually gathers pace. It's worth noting that the Honda Elevate, which uses a similar NA-CVT setup, does a noticeable better job of masking that rubber band effect. So if that's something that bothers you, then it's worth test driving both cars back to back. So if you are not someone who drives pedal to the metal and prioritizes comfort over outright performance, the NS CVT is honestly the perfect choice for you. Braking performance across the range is confidence inspiring, and brakes aren't overly grabby or sudden. So you can bring the car to a smooth control stop without your passengers feeling any jerk. Sometimes that thing matters a lot in start-stop city traffic with people in the back seat. One more thing worth mentioning is Kia has also worked on the NVS levels with this generation. Road noise and wind noise at highway speeds are noticeable better compared to the outgoing model, which makes those longer drives feel a lot less tiring. And looking ahead, there's a strong possibility that a hybrid powertrain option could join the Seltos lineup this festive season or somewhere around 2027, which would make an already versatile lineup even more so. So let's jump to the conclusion because the new Seltos is better across in almost every aspect: the tech, the reliability, after sales support, and looks. So if you're a first time buyer if you're a first time buyer or drive mostly in city or sedated pace, the 1.5 NA with CVT is the one to get, eyes closed. But if you enjoy driving and value handling, there are better options out there. Now, thanks for watching and let me know in the comments which car should I review next. See you next time.